Good morning, dear students. How are you? Wish you the best. Miss Meisaء with you today. We're going to have a lesson in 9th grade, which is Unit 7. And it is very interesting lesson because it's talking about the Titanic. I know that most of you know this a tragedy. Although it is a tragedy, but most of us, we like it so much because it was a very interesting movie done by two famous personalities or celebrities, and we like them a lot. The title of the unit is Critical Moments. Critical moments, which means very difficult and hard moments that sometimes we pass through. Let's see what's talking about. And first of all, the title, the subtitle is called No One Had Believed It Was Possible. No one had believed it was possible because of this large ship. This is a view of the ship taken from the movie, and it is similar to the real one which was sunk lately or in the past, maybe in 1912. So it was a true accident and true story done, or it happened in 1912. So this is, but the movie tries to symbolize the same story and told us about the most important events happened there. Of course, the love story of Jack and Rose in the film was added. It wasn't there, but in order to make people follow the movie, so it was added to make it, to have suspense. Okay, and make it interesting for other people. This is the picture of the Titanic. Here we have some main ideas in order to know about what is the story of Titanic and what had happened. The word Titanic means very huge, very powerful, and very strong. So even the title itself, or the name of the ship, was something difficult to be defeated. In 1912, the Titanic hit an iceberg on its first trip across the Atlantic. And it was the largest ship that had ever traveled on the sea. 2,207 people were boarded. 650 boats only were taken with them. 1,502 people, unfortunately, were drowned. They were drowned in the sea and they were dead. 651 only survived. So it is very small number compared by the number of all people who were boarded. And unluckily, passengers didn't receive boat numbers or even the drill how to use their boats if it is a time of emergency or urgent time. So they were not trained because they didn't believe that something like that could happen. So that's why they didn't train people and they didn't take enough boats with them because it was the largest ship ever. So they say it is unbelievable to defeat it or to be sunk. So that's why they don't take with them enough boats. There is a rule for the companies of shipments or of ship in general that they have half the number of the passengers. Unluckily, this company took quarter of the number of the passengers. So that's why people didn't find a place to go on the boats in order to be saved. And they sent them 6 warnings in order to change their direction and speed, but unluckily they didn't respond to that warning. So here we have some of the new vocabulary. Let's see the words and explain them. The first one, number 1, iceberg. Iceberg, which is a noun, it means a large mass of ice floating in the sea. Iceberg, which is a noun, is a large mass of ice floating in the sea. Number 2, lifeboat. Lifeboat also is a noun. It means a small boat to save people on board if the ship sinks. Lifeboat, which is a noun, means a small boat to save people on board if the ship sinks. Number 3, to sink. To sink, as you can note that we have 2 of the infinitive. To sink, which is a verb, means to go down below the surface or towards the bottom of a liquid or soft substance. So to sink, which is a verb, means to go down below the surface or towards the bottom of a liquid or soft substance. Number 5, survivor. Survivor, which is a noun, means a person who continues to live after danger. Survivor, which is a noun, means a person who continues to live after danger. Number 5, to supply. To supply, which is a verb, it means to provide. Supply, which is a verb, means to provide. So the meanings of the words again: iceberg, which is a noun, a large mass of ice floating in the sea. Lifeboat also is a noun, a small boat to save people on board if the ship sinks. To sink, which is a verb, to go down below the surface or towards the bottom of a liquid or soft substance. Survivor, which is a noun, a person who continues to live after danger. To supply, which is a verb, to provide. These are the new words. I hope that you understand their meanings. Now we are moving to an exercise, vocabulary exercise, which is exercise number 1, and we are going to match A with B to complete the sentences, and the sentences are from the book itself. So we have A and B, we are going to match them. I'm going to read them first and then we will match. Number 1, we are reading now A. The Titanic was carrying 2,207 people, but. Number 2, many passengers hadn't dressed warmly. Number 3, the ship had received 6 warnings when. Number 4, it hadn't changed its direction or. Now we move to B. Because they didn't believe that they were in danger. It had taken lifeboats enough for only 1,178. Its speed after 6 warnings. It struck the ice. So now we are going to try to match A with B, column A with column B, in order to get the full sentence and meaning. Yalla, we'll start with number 1. The Titanic was carrying about, I need a pen now to, the Titanic was carrying 2,207 people, but it had taken lifeboats enough for only 1,178. So this is number 1. Number 2, many passengers hadn't dressed warmly. Many passengers hadn't dressed warmly because they didn't believe they were in danger. Because they didn't believe they were in danger. So this is number 2. Number 3, the ship had received 6 warnings when. The ship had received 6 warnings when it struck the ice. When it struck the ice. So this is number 3. Number 4, it hadn't changed its direction or its speed after 6 warnings. So it hadn't changed its direction or its speed after 6 warnings. So this is number 4. So the meaning now, after we complete the whole sentence, the Titanic was carrying 2,207 people, but it had taken lifeboats enough for only 1,178. Number 2, many passengers hadn't dressed warmly because they didn't believe that they were in danger. 3, the ship had received 6 warnings when it struck the ice. 4, it hadn't changed its direction or its speed after 6 warnings. This is the answer of all. So now we'll move to something else. We'll move now to grammar. And we'll see what is our grammar here. Today we are talking about past perfect. Past perfect is used only to talk about past events, but we can use simple past. Why we use past perfect? Or is it used alone? We have the answer which says no, never. We can't use past perfect by itself, alone. But the rule is I, he, she, it, they, we, and you. All these pronouns, they will have the same verb which is had plus past participle. So the rule of the past perfect is that all the pronouns I, he, she, it, they, we, you, all of them will have verb had plus past participle. Can we use it alone by itself? Again, I say no, never, because we are going to use it with another tense which is simple past. Now let's see the rule of the simple past plus past perfect together. Do we have a help in order to know how can we use it and when? Because here we will have complicated sentences consisting of two past and two verbs. So do we have any kind of help? Yes, of course. We have keywords will help us in order to know that where to use past and where to use past perfect. The keywords are after, before, because, by the time. So the keywords again are after, before, because, and by the time. So when we find any of these and the past perfect plus simple past, in fact, is used to indicate consequence of events. What does mean consequence of events? Which means that if I have an action which is done first and then another action as a result, so the first action we use it in the past perfect. For example, we are going to have a test. What should we do? First of all, we study. We study very hard, and then we have the test and we pass. So if you're going to tell your friend that you have done something and you passed your exam, but before passing your exam, you're going to tell them that you have studied well. So what do? You use past simple with past perfect. You say, after I had studied well, I passed my exam. So which action is first, happening first? The first one, which is studying, and then moving to the other one, which leads you to pass the exam. For example, let's start. We have here some examples for every keyword. Number one, after. After I had trained well, I passed my driving test. After I had trained well. As you can note here, that trained well here is number one of the tenses. So first of all, you have trained on driving, how to drive a car, how to avoid accidents, how to be good. And then when you had the driving test, you passed. So this is the second action. So the first verb is had trained, and the second one is passed. So concerning the actions, number one, you have a trained first, and then you passed. So after I had trained well, I passed my driving test. Clear? I hope it's clear. Now, number two, before. Before, sometimes we can order the events in a different way. For example, before we went to the party, okay? Before we went to the party, we had bought nice presents. So which is first? Had bought, of course. This is number one. We bought the present for our friend, and then we went to the party. But we mentioned this first, that we went to the party first, and then after that we had bought nice presents. So the sentence here, before we went to the party, we had bought nice present. The first action, we use it in the past perfect, had bought, and then the second verb, went, is in the simple past. Number three, because. Because my brother had overslept. He had overslept. This is the first action. He forgot about his flight. So he missed his flight. This is number 2. So the first action, that he overslept, he didn't feel and he didn't wake up, so he lost his flight. So because my brother had overslept, this is the first action. Number 2, the second one, he missed his flight and he didn't travel. For example, you see your friend and say, he said, I'm gonna travel, and after a few days you see him. You say, oh, you're here. What happened? He said, because I had overslept, I missed my flight. So this is a reason of something else. So we have 2 actions, the old one in the past perfect, the second in the simple past. The fourth keyword is by the time. By the time. For example, here we say, by the time we arrived to class, the teacher had left. So which is first? The teacher had finished his lesson and he left the class because we were very late. So when we arrived, we didn't see the teacher. He was leaving, so we didn't attend our class. So by the time we arrived, the period or the class was over and the teacher was leaving. So the teacher had left, which means that this is the first action. And the second one, we arrived too late. So this is the second action in the simple past. So again, past simple and past perfect are used together when we are talking about 2 actions. One was starting first, it started before the second one. The first one, we put it in the past perfect, and the second in the simple past. So we read it again. The keywords are after, before, because, by the time. The examples are, after I had trained well, I passed my driving test. Before we went to the party, we had bought nice presents. Because my brother had overslept, he missed his flight. By the time we arrived to the class, the teacher had left. Okay, this is the rule. Now we'll go to activity book. In the activity book, in fact, we have a very interesting story, which is called Back to Life. Back to live or to life. And also it's talking about a critical moment. And this one is talking about a person who's called Fran Silak. Silak, in fact, from Croatia, he had been through different events and all of them were critical for him. He survived a train accident, bus accident, and a car explosion. And finally, even in his car, he was going to fall down to the valley. Because a truck crashed him or crashed his car. And finally, he won a lottery, and it was very big prize for him. And he bought a luxurious house and lived happily. So is it luckily or unluckily for him, do you think that he survived all these accidents? In fact, we don't know even if these things that he talked about are true or just from his exaggeration or imagination. So that's why we'll move to a vocabulary exercise. When do we have adjectives and adverbs? In fact, adjectives can be changed into adverb just by adding ly. And we know that adjectives describe the subject, whereas adverbs describe the action itself or the verb. How did it happen? Okay, so when we use adjectives, we are describing people or subjects in general. For example, if we say, my friend Yusra is a beautiful girl. So beautiful here, I'm talking about Yusra herself, okay? But when I say, for example, she answers all her exams beautifully, or she writes beautifully, it means I'm describing the way of writing or the way of working, not herself, okay? So when we describe, an adjective describes the subject, whereas the adverb describe the verb, how it is done, or the action itself. Here we have an exercise in your book. I hope that we will do it together. Sorry, I'm getting back to so the adjectives are relative, fortunate, remarkable, safe, luxurious, humble, incredible, dramatical. So the adjectives are fortunate, remarkable, safe, luxurious, humble, incredible, and dramatical. We're going to add just ly, but keep in mind that the adjectives which end with le, we will drop the e, and no need to add another l. Immediately we will add the y. So no need to add another l, like the word remarkable and humble, okay, and also incredible. So immediately we will add the y. No need to add ly again, because it ends with l, and the e here is not pronounced, so we can drop it and replace it with y immediately. So here, the word relative, it becomes relatively. Fortunate, fortunately. Remarkable, remarkably. Safe, safely. Luxurious, luxuriously. Humble, humbly. Incredible, incredibly. Dramatical, dramatically. The words again. Relative, relatively. Fortunate, fortunately. Remarkable, remarkably. Safe, safely. Luxurious, luxuriously. Humble, humbly. Incredible, incredibly. Dramatical, dramatically. So here, these are the adjectives and the adverbs. We'll move to grammar exercise about the correct form of the verbs. They want us now to write the two verbs. So this is a bit difficult, I know. So we are going to start sentence by sentence and discuss what are the answers. Look at this. The first, they say, write the correct form of the verbs. So the verbs in brackets, we have two verbs. We'll see which is first, simple past, or the first one, which is past perfect, and the second, which is simple. We have the word I feel a little better after I. They write the word take the medicine. She was late. The teacher give a test when she get to class last Monday. Maram be a newspaper reporter before she became an ambassador. It was raining heavily, but by the time class be over, the rain stopped. Dinosaurs become extinct by the time humankind first appear. They never see any of his paintings before they visit the art museum yesterday. Let's try to answer. Number one, they say, I feel a little bit better after I take the medicine. Which action is first? I feel better or take the medicine? Of course, taking the medicine is number one, right? And then we feel better. So here, I felt, so the verb here will be felt. I felt, because the past of verb feel, felt, felt. I felt better or a little better after I had taken. The verb take, the past took, the past participle is taken. So, I felt a little better after I had taken the medicine. This is number two, taken the medicine. It is number one, that we had the medicine first and then we felt better. Okay? Even the order of the sentences. And after is the keyword, as you can see here, in order to help you to know what is the tense. She was late. The teacher gave a test when she get to class last Monday. So she was late. The teacher, what did the teacher do? So the teacher first had given, give, gave, given. So the teacher had given a test. The teacher had given a test when she got, which means after she got, or before she got to the class last Monday. So the teacher had given the exam and it is over. When she arrived to the class, they were finishing their exam. So she didn't have her exam. So when she got to the class, the teacher had given the test and it is over. So she had no chance in order to do it again. Maram, a newspaper reporter before she became, Maram had been, because we have the word before here, which is a keyword, had been a newspaper. So this is, or newspaper reporter. This is the first action, had been. The verb be was were in the past and been in the past participle. So Maram had been a newspaper reporter before she became, this is the second action, before she became an ambassador. Okay, so Maram had been a newspaper reporter before she became an ambassador. Number 4, it was raining heavily, but by the time, this is the keyword, by the time class over, the rain stopped. So which is first? By the time class had been over, the rain stopped. Stopped, double P. Simple past, and it is regular verb. So it was raining heavily, but by the time class had been over, the rain stopped. Dinosaurs. If you know about dinosaurs, lovely creatures, but monsters, like monsters. They are stray, very stray, and very dangerous. Dinosaurs, they say, become extinct by the time humankind first appear. How can we answer which is first? Of course dinosaurs, because we didn't see them. So dinosaurs had become. The verb become is irregular, the past became, and the past participle is become again. So had become extinct. Extinct, which means they are not there anymore. So the word extinct means they are not there. They are not on earth anymore. So they had become extinct by the time. By the time is the keyword, as you can note. Humankind first appeared. So appeared, we appeared as a human being after the extinction of dinosaurs. Appeared is a regular verb. So dinosaurs had become an extinct by the time humankind first appeared. Sentence number 6 says, they never see any of his paintings before they visit the art museum yesterday. They never see before. So before is the key word, which is first. They had never seen. So the verb see, it is irregular. See, so, seen. So the answer here, they had never seen. Had never seen his paintings before they visited the art museum yesterday. Okay, so they had never seen, they had never seen any of his paintings before they visited the art museum yesterday. So the word here is before is the keyword. Let's read them after we answer them all. They want us to write the correct form of the verbs which are in brackets, and they give us the 2 verbs in order to be checked or corrected. Number 1, I felt a little better after I had taken the medicine. 2, she was late. The teacher had given a test when she got to class last Monday. 3, Maram had been a newspaper reporter before she became an ambassador. 4, it was raining heavily, but by the time class had been over, the rain stopped. 5, dinosaurs had become extinct by the time humankind first appeared. 6. They had never seen any of his paintings before they visited the art museum yesterday. Now, let's move to something else. Now we have a pronunciation. Let's see what we have prepared. For pronunciation, we have here, as you can note, 2 letters, which is called diphthongs. Diphthongs means that when we mix 2 letters, how can we pronounce them? When we have 2 letters and both of them are vowels, how can we pronounce them? So that's why they are called diphthongs, which means more than 1 letter. Now listen to me and repeat after me some of these words, and then we will have an exercise. Fail, fail, bake, bake, wait, wait. The second one also, wait, wait. Same pronunciation but different words here. The first one, wait, means to wait for somebody until he comes. The second one, how much do you weigh? How many kilos? How much do you weigh? This is different, okay? So wait, wait. Sake, sake, sane, sane. Cape, cape, wake, wake. These are the words. Again, let's read them and repeat after me. Fail, fail, bake, bake, wait, 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 sake, sake, sane, sane, cape, cape, wake, wake. Now, they say circle the words which have a sound, and here we have a table, and we are going to read all the words and then find and circle which word has this diphthong, which is E and A together. Gaze, gaze, sheep, sheep, James, James, hate, hate, shape, shape, bet, bet, day, day, bait, bait, shake, shake, key, key, sail, sail, ape, ape. Now, let's try to read them again and find what is the word which has a sound, not a diphthong. Gaze, gaze. Does it have this sound? Yes, so we can circle. Sheep, sheep, no, it doesn't have. James, James, yes, it has this sound. Hate, hate, yes, it does. Shape, shape, yes, it does. Bet, no, it doesn't have this sound. Day, day, yes, it has. Bait, bait, yes, also it has this sound. Shake, shake, yes, it has the same sound. Key, key, no, it doesn't. Sail, sail, yes, it has the sound. Ape, ape, yes, it has. So, the exercise here, the words are gaze, gaze, James, James, hate, hate, shape, shape, day, day, pate, pate, shake, shake, sail, sail, ape, ape. All these, they have the sound which is diphthong, which is E and I. I think that's all for, I'm sorry. That's all for today. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have got the benefit from our lesson. Thank you for Miss Misa and Miss Lubna Abu Saleh, the supervisor, and Miss Yusra, who is following me all the time with all my lessons. Thank you so much.